5 contracts, 5 states, real money on the table this week. The biggest one is a $3 million forest health contract out of Denver, Colorado. 4 years of work, and most vendors scrolling past won't even know it exists. Now, if you're watching what agencies put out to bid, you're guessing. And guessing doesn't build a pipeline. Welcome to This Week in Procurement. I am your host, Abby Souffrant, State and Local Government Contracting Strategist and founder of A&L Business Solutions. Every week, my team pulls a national data set of SLED opportunities, and I give you the 5 you actually need to pay attention to. That's what this show is, so let's get into it. 4 out of 5 contracts this week are expertise buys, not equipment buys. Agencies aren't asking for a headcount, they're asking for judgment. Strategic planning in New York, leadership and capacity building in Boston, marketing strategy in Virginia, and even our outlier out of Denver for their forest health contract is really an expertise and execution hybrid. Agencies do not have in-house crews who can run this at scale, so they're buying capability wholesale for 4 years. That's your open door. Now, when agencies commit multi-year dollars to outside expertise instead of building internal teams, it means their capacity gap is structural, not temporary. They're not going to solve it in the next budget cycle. Now, if you're a firm that sells strategy, training, or specialized field and operations, this is the environment that you have been waiting for. So don't sleep on it. Let's head into the top 5 contracts this week. Our first contract, our star contract of the week, is out of Denver, Colorado for Forest Health Services with a very nice budget of $3 million. Denver needs a vendor who can run the full spectrum of forest health work: harvesting, hazard tree removal, slash treatment, pest management over a 4-year term. This is squarely your lane if you are an established forestry and land management contractor with real field crews and not consultants. The budget size and contract length tell you that this agency wants a long-term operational partner, not a one-off project vendor. Your pipeline lesson for this type of contract is that forestry and wildfire mitigation contracts are climbing into multi-million-dollar, multi-year territory across the West and mountain regions. If you're in this space, stop bidding on these one at a time. Build a standing capacity plan for a 4-year commitment, because that's the length of the terms that agencies are now defaulting to. The vendor who can commit to the runway are the ones that are actually winning. So scale to the contract term, not to the contract year. Our second contract is out of the state of New York for strategic planning consulting services with a budget between $150,000 and $200,000. This agency needs a 5-year strategic plan, programming, operational models, fundraising strategy, the entire architecture, built and facilitated from discovery through implementation support. The right vendor here is a strategy consultant with real facilitation chops, not just a report writer. They want someone who can align staff, board, and stakeholders when they say through implementation. Now, that implementation support line is the tell. This isn't a plan and leave engagement. They're looking for you to stay. Your lesson for this type of contract is that strategic planning RFPs that include implementation support are worth more than the sticker price. They're a foot in the door for a multi-year relationship. Now, when you see implementation specifically, that also includes measurable outcomes in the scope language. Price your proposal knowing that this could become a recurring engagement and not a single deliverable. The relationship is the point. The third contract is out of Boston, Massachusetts for education, training, capacity building, and leadership development services. This contract has a nice budget up to $145,000. And when you hear me talk about contracts that have budgets up to $145,000, that's not anything that my team is putting in there. That's in the proposal, in the RFP. They have outlined that they have pre-selected a budget that makes sense to them, and they're looking for the right vendor who can satisfy their needs and within a specific budget limitations. Now, they want a vendor who can cover professional development, capacity building, and leadership coaching in one contract, including specialized areas like deaf culture and employment capacity building. Now, this is a great fit for training and organizational development firms with breadth, not a single topic trainer. 1-year term, on-site delivery. They want boots in the building, building relationships with the staff directly. Your pipeline lesson. The deadline has already closed for this particular contract, which is okay, but that is your reminder. Capacity building and training RFPs move extremely fast, and agencies aren't waiting around for the vendors to catch up. You want to build a standing alert system for education and workforce development categories so you're never finding out about the question deadline after it has passed. Now, if you want to stay ahead of these RFPs, but more importantly, get in the cycle of the RFIs where you can curate and give some insight on how a particular contract is going to be outlined with your input, with your specialty, right? You make sure you want to join our community, the Under Contract Academy. Our next contract is out of the state of California for cloud-based and hybrid deployment enterprise password manager solutions. Man, say that 3 times. And they have a nice budget up to about $140,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, cloud-based systems for $140,000, that's too low. I understand. But remember, we want to get our foot in the door. This particular agency wants a centralized enterprise grade password manager with Azure identity, provider SSO integration, cross-device support, and ongoing capability updates across every major OS. This is your lane of cybersecurity and identity access management vendors, not your general IT contractors. They have a 3-year term, which means they're picking a long-term platform partner, not testing a tool. Now, your pipeline lesson for these types of contracts is that identity and access management is becoming a standing budget line for state and local government, not a special project. If you're in cybersecurity space, and I want you to treat every one of these SSO integration RFPs as a signal that the agencies are consolidating their security stack, and the vendor who wins the password manager contract is well positioned to be the first in line for the next identity security RFP. Land the platform, own the relationship. Our last contract of today is coming out of the state of Virginia for awards event services with a budget up to $45,000. Hampton has a special place in my heart. Hampton wants a vendor to run an awards program encouraging new placemaking events, festivals, and community arts projects, plus the marketing and promotional plan to drive engagement. This is a fit for event production and community engagement firms who can also handle marketing strategy, not just logistics. It's open to both nonprofit and for-profit vendors. Don't assume that this lane is closed to you. Now, for my event planners, the pipeline lesson for this type of contract, placemaking and community engagement are contracts that sometimes are smaller dollars, but they're relationship builders. They place you inside of the agency's strategic priorities, not just a transactional spend. If you're a smaller shop trying to break into SLED, contracts like this are your entry point. Win small, prove reliability, get remembered when the bigger RFP comes out. This week's contract splits cleanly into two camps: brains and boots. Brains contracts are pure expertise, strategic planning, training, marketing, strategy. You're selling judgment, and the deliverable is a plan or a program. Boots contracts are expertise plus execution. So you have your forest health as well as your event production contracts this week. You are selling judgment and hands-on delivery in the same contract. Most vendors only build a pipeline for one camp. That makes it a big mistake for you. Brains-only firms miss the boots contracts because they only think they have the field capacity, but plenty of these are won through subcontracting and teaming arrangements. Boots-only firms miss the brains contracts because they assume that consulting requires a different credential set than they have. The vendors who win consistently in SLED build relationships that can flex across both. You don't need to run forestry crews to team with someone who does. And you don't need a PhD to write a strategic plan if you have the operational expertise that agencies are actually trying to capture. So go back through this week's top 5 contracts, tag the ones that are brains, tag the ones that are boots, and ask yourself honestly, which camp is your current pipeline weighted towards? Fix that imbalance this week. And I actually want to see your comments below, which ones are brains and which ones are boots. Now here's a friction. Every week, I hear vendors watch contracts like Denver's $3 million forest health deal and think that that's within reach. Or sometimes they think it's out of reach. They may have no past performance, no track record, no way in. That's the wrong starting point. You don't need a $3 million contract to start your government contracting portfolio. You need your first win. And that's what the Micro Purchase Lab is for. That is our school community. Actually, it's the only school community built specifically for you to get micro purchases, which are small dollar government contracts and buys that build real past performance. And guess what? You do not need a SAM.gov registration to start. Inside, you get a live feed of micro purchase opportunities across many different categories ready for you to bid. And you get the exact scripts and templates my team uses to win them fast. And you get a community of vendors doing this alongside you, so you can compare notes on what you're working on right now, but also get the encouragement and support you're needed, because in this space, you should not be alone. The link is in the description and pinned in the comment below. Make sure you join the Micro Purchase Lab today in our Under Contract Academy. Stop waiting for the big contracts. Go win the small ones that get you in the door. That is how we started, and this is how we know it works. Thank you for tuning in for This Week in Procurement. Remember, opportunities are everywhere. I am your host, Abby Souffrant, and I'll see you next week.